Hi, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today's just a quick video response. I saw a really cool question that Dave of Lawn Boys Post 1975 posited on his channel over the weekend. And it was, there's a certain point that comes where you realize that you have too many games, or that you need to kind of taper off or round off your collection, or just stop collecting, or perhaps recycle some of the games you have if you're not playing them, or realistically don't you see yourself playing them. But I thought it was a really good question. I left a fairly detailed comment in his comment section, but I wanted to do it a little bit more justice with a video response. So what I can honestly say is that I went through a period in 2008. I mentioned going through hard times. I went through I just had to eliminate a lot of things in my life, unfortunately. Now my movie collection, I even thinned that down a little bit. I realistically looked through every box, and I said, am I honestly going to ever watch this movie? It's something I'm even interested in. So quite often I'd buy them at a grocery store, supermarket, or I'd see it on sale, buy 2 get 1 free, and I would go ahead and try a film out. But if I watched it and really didn't like it, or could honestly see it in my collection, I just would, take it back and recycle it. Usually give you a few bucks for it and put it towards another one. So I've done that with movies. But for the most part, 95% of my movies have the original core films I bought. I kind of knew what I wanted early on because I saw so many films at the theater. And those ones I hung on to. But with games, it's changed. I had over 100 to 110 Commodore 64 games. I had well over 30 Super NES games over the years. I had well over 100 PlayStation 1 games. Probably around 85 to 100 PlayStation 2 games. Probably well over 30 to 40 regular Xbox games, and now I've got over 100 Xbox 360 games. I don't know, probably 25 PlayStation 3 games. So my collection is pretty stout now, but I'm happy with it. And so what happened is 2008, I was kind of losing everything, and I kind of whittled my games down to around a dozen. That's really all I had for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 2. And once I finally got my next-gen system in the fall of '09, I got that Wolfenstein game, and I bought my first Xbox 360, the new Elite model. I was really excited about the new graphics. I had spent 5 years watching, watching reviews the last year of the games that had been out for 5 years for the Xbox 360. So I knew that Burnout Paradise was awesome. I knew that the Grand Theft Auto 4 was fantastic. I already knew that I wanted full auto. I had already seen, gameplay of Dead Rising and other games that are out, and especially games like Call of Duty 2. I said, man, this is going to be great. So when I first got that system, the leap up in graphics was so great to me in my mind. I said, realistically, am I ever going to go back and play a game like the original Forza on my Xbox when I got the new Forza 2 or 3 or whatever was out at the time that I bought? And I said, no, I'm not going to do it, honestly. So I started, my nephew still had the older, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox system, so I gave them most of what they wanted. I said, do you guys see any games you want? Oh, Uncle Dean, thanks. I want this and that, and they took a bunch of them. But my very favorites I saved, I wouldn't get rid of. I said, just in case, I'm going to keep them. If nothing else, I just like the looks of them. And I kept a dozen or 15, maybe, I don't know, PlayStation 2 and Xbox games. And then eventually, I was digging the new Xbox 360 games so much, I said, realistic, I'm never going to play these again, what happened is I wanted more games. I didn't have a lot of money when I bought my Xbox 360. They just lowered the price that day down by $50. So it was affordable at $300. I could say, well, now I can get one. But I could really only afford, 1 or 2 games initially. So to get the games, I traded in my Xbox and my PlayStation 2, and they gave me $26 a piece for them or whatever. Not a lot of money. And then I had a whole bunch of games as well, so I traded a bunch of games in. I still saved those, those games which I eventually gave to Classic Game Room. So I was able to pick up a half a dozen or a bunch of games, new and used. So I was really happy with that at the time. I was like, oh, who needs it? And even going back just a few years, I only had like a dozen, Xbox 360 games. I was kind of happy with that. And once I was done playing them, I'd either trade them back in, or if I never thought I'd play them again, especially I would trade them in, or I'd give them quite a few to my nephews. After I'm done, they go, dude, if you want to play that one, go ahead. Sometimes they'd see me playing a game, oh wow, that's awesome, and I'd see their enthusiasm. I couldn't help myself. You know, here, dude, and I'd take it out and give it to them. Because they showed an interest and wanted to play it. It made me feel good to give them the game, even though I really wanted to finish it. And I said, I'll get it back eventually, but sometimes it would have too many scratches or I didn't want it back. I just go ahead and keep it, don't worry about it. And I've gone out and rebought those games, which is kind of interesting. But so, I don't know, something happened. I donated all those games to Classic Game Room. I really enjoyed Undertow, reviewed pretty much all of them. Mark has slowly been going through and re-reviewing quite a few of them. And it got me all excited. I'm like, God, I never should have got rid of that, Return to Castle game. Never should have got rid of Manhunt 1 and 2, and games like those, and Road Rash. God, what was I thinking? And then of course I discovered all these other wonderful retro channels, and everyone's excited about collecting these games that I thought weren't worth much. And I said, man, I kind of made a mistake by getting rid of those. So I found a really good, PlayStation 2 over the summer for $40. I've got a, 19-inch, a 27-inch Sony Trinitron analog TV right here, which I enjoy playing them on with an S-video cable hookup, and it looks awesome. And I got this TV because I knew I'd be getting a Super NES and some of these older game systems that I could play on a CRT TV, so I was really excited about having that option, as well as my other big TV in the other room. But still, the collection was growing. I was starting to get upwards around, about when I started my YouTube channel, I had already had, about 40 games. I had started buying more because I'd watched more of my friends' reviews. Oh, dude, really? You've never played these Call of Duty games? You've never played this game and Medal of Honor 2010 and this and that? So I was buying the games up. Sometimes I'd play them right away. Other times I wouldn't. And I said, well, that's great that I have the option to play these great games. I got to the point, because of the internet and YouTube, where I could research. If someone told me about a game, even now in some of my recent videos, oh, dude, if you like that game, you should check this out. Believe me, I checked every one of them out. I put them in the searches on YouTube. I check out a little gameplay. I usually watch 1 or 2 reviews of it. If a game intrigues me at that point, then I'll check more reviews out. And I'll watch 5 or 6 reviews. And then I start looking for the game. I said, man, I want that one. It just looks like it's right up my alley. And I'll buy it and hang on to it. And I've got my game collection reflects many games that I've picked up even recently that I just haven't played. I got the Rainbow Six Vegas games. I know I'm going to like those. I don't doubt it. I would be shocked if I played those and didn't like them. And if I do and it doesn't really do it for me, I'll trade them in. I have no problem. I can take them to my little Dimples mom and pop store. They give me a few bucks for them, depending on their popularity. The ones in demand, they actually give you decent money for. Some of the other ones, it's no big deal. I don't care. I'm not going to try to make a profit on them on eBay and, oh, I can get 20 bucks a pop from you. I'll just take them down, take the $5 or whatever they'll give me for them, if they're anything at all. So, posterity is a big reason why I do the collection. But I'm not, and I have these goals, which I've been, pontificating. Oh, I'm going to get a new Xbox. I'm going to get a Panasonic 3DO and another Super NES, and maybe a GameCube, or a 32X or the Sega Genesis system here. I'm so excited about getting these consoles, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go out and get 110 games for every console. I probably will, to be honest with you, when I get that Super NES, I've been looking, the prices are going up on these games. My God, a mint condition of Super Star Wars is, $80 to $100, some of them now. Really expensive. Now, I'm not collecting them because they're popular. I'm collecting them because I can honestly see myself playing that game and deriving joy out of it. Sure, there's a nostalgic element that's there. I definitely want them because at one time those games meant something to me. But frankly, like a lot of the PlayStation 1 games, and recently I picked up that PS1 and a shitload of PlayStation 1 games and a couple of PlayStation 2 games, and I only took half of what was there. She actually wanted someone to take the whole collection. And I could have got it. She probably would have, only charged me another $20 or so. I probably could have taken the whole collection and all of those original NES games, but I just didn't want them. I said, realistically, I'm not going to play these. So, and I already took a couple. There are like 2 games I picked out that I had never played, but I was always curious about. So I went ahead and took a chance on a couple of those. And if those pan out to where I'm not real crazy about them, I'll take them down to my mom and pop store. Probably, trade them in. But I'm real happy. I only selectively picked out the ones I could honestly see myself re-enjoying all over again, or it just would be awesome to have in my collection because of nostalgia. Even if I only put them in once or twice and just play a little bit of them. is fantastic. Like the game Gex, I love the game so much, and believe me, I want to play that game again. I've already been enjoying that one. I've been playing Black again, on for my PlayStation 2. I love that one, and it's nice to relive those days. But I'm going to be very selective. The 3DO in particular, I may only get 3 to 5 games for that system, and that's it. And then down the road, if I've got a couple friends of mine, Dean, you've never played this game on the 3DO, and if it looks like it's really intriguing and I could see myself seriously sitting down and digging it, then I'll go ahead and pick it up. The Xbox, I pretty much know what I want. I'm probably going to have 7 to 10 games for the Xbox, that were just my absolute favorites. And maybe I'll consider 1 or 2 that I've always been curious about that my friends have raved about. But I'm going to be selective. So yes, I'm a collector, but I collect for posterity and nostalgia, the memories. A lot of the driving games I won't be buying, even though I enjoyed, hardcore 4x4 on the PlayStation 1, and I enjoyed some of the early test drive games on the PlayStation 1. And Burning Road, a lot of these unusual games for the PS1, I probably won't be buying them again because honestly, with driving games in particular, I like the newer ones. I'd rather play Gran Turismo 6 or Forza Horizon or something like that. I'm certainly not opposed to playing V-Rally or Rallycross. Now Rallycross was a fun one. I'll probably pick that one up again. It's very arcadey, and I really love the fun graphics in it. And the music and everything. That was cool. I might get that one again. I'm going to get like Jet Moto 1. I have Jet Moto 2. I love Jet Moto. Some of the little racing games and arcade type games I definitely would rebuy. But most of them, to be honest with you, even after playing Gran Turismo 3 on the PlayStation 2, as good as it looked, why would I sit and play that night after night when I can play, a brand new Gran Turismo 6 with even better graphics and very similar tracks and handling? So that's my rationale anyway. I wanted to do this video response. I thought it was a very good question, and because I'm in the throes of collecting again, I don't want to fill this room up. Now that's not taking anything away from the many fine gamers and YouTubers that have got these epic collections. Believe me, I'm glad they have those big collections because I'm fascinated with them going through and seeing games that I had never heard of, seeing games that I had heard of but had never tried. Because I didn't have the internet back in PS1 and PS2 and regular Xbox days. So it's very cool to kind of see the full range and array of what's out there. It's awesome. And I love to see other people collect. And I get excited with their collections and when their pickup videos. But it doesn't mean it's going to translate into me buying the same games. But there'll be a few of them I'll see, oh I want that one. Oh, I got to have that. Even if I haven't tried it, because I'm so enthusiastic about trying it, or I could see myself liking some rare Terminator game that I've never played before, but someone else played it and loved it, or an Alien game. And I think there's 1 or 2 Alien games that I've missed in some of the earlier systems. And believe me, if I see a video on that, and that's right up I got to get that one. I'll get them, even if I only play them a little bit. So that's kind of I guess the criteria for my new collecting is I'm going to probably start off with all of these systems with just 3 to 5 games per each system. And very gradually over time, I'll be selective and I'll afford what I can. Some of these Super NES games are getting up ridiculous in price. I don't care what it costs. If some of the games are over $100 and I absolutely have to have it. So far, there's only the Super Star Wars is the only real pricey one that I want. But there's other people that have, that collect the games because they were popular and that's the game that everyone had to have for that system. I'm not one of those people. I kind of get the things that I like. Then there'll be some that will ironically be popular or be ones that everyone kind of knows, like Super Star Wars. So sometimes you have to pay for what you want. I'm not thrilled about it, but because I buy 80-odd% of my games, discounted and used and so cheap, especially with the current, or should I say last-gen consoles, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 or the Wii, the prices have never been better. So when I can buy games for $3 and $4 and $5 and $12 all day long, I can't lose. I have 5 mom and pop stores just in the greater Sacramento area alone, which I can go, and if one doesn't have it, I can drive a few miles to the other 4 that'll have the games, or I can even just wait and have them ship it within 3 to 5 days to my local store right up the street. So that's exciting for me. Personally, when I go down to LA, there's a big place called Gamer Dude. It's like a huge box store. It's huge, and it's just nothing but retro games and systems. And once a year when I go down there, you better believe I'll be hitting that place up and have a couple $100 in my pocket, and I'll go and look just in case. But I'm only going to be getting just the games that realistically I could see myself enjoying and really having in my collection and putting it off the shelf. You know, I'm going to play this tonight and play it. So I validate Dave at Lawn Boys post 1975, keeping the collection down to a certain size. I tried to do that, but now I've kind of regretted getting rid of so many. So I'll do the same thing, but probably a little bit larger size collection. And then I'll annually kind of review it and look at it realistically. Am I ever going to play this one again? Or maybe I know someone that might want this game and give it to them or what have you. So anyway, that's my new kind of policies on collecting, or my criteria for collecting. I'd love to hear yours. I just had to do this video response. I thought it was a great question, and it certainly is something that I like to think about, because I got so many goals this year, and there's only so much money, so I naturally have to make my money stretch and think about the games I really, really want. Even if money was no object, I still think I would keep it to this parameters of keeping it just the games that mean something to me, that I could see myself enjoying, or even having because of nostalgia and posterity, and just getting a big smile on my face every time I see that game on my shelf. That's kind of what it's all about for me. So let me know in the comments what you think. And anyway, that's my response. Enjoy your games, guys.